So how important is the names of your tracks, the title that you give to your stock music tracks when you're selling on libraries like Pond5 and Audio Jungle? The proper title that you give to your music track could be the difference between selling and not selling. Is that important? And you have to put yourself in the shoes of the client or a customer. When a customer goes through a royalty-free library and starts searching for music, the very first thing they're gonna see is the title of your music track. So it better reflect the mood, the emotions that your music evokes, even by just reading the title before they even click on the actual song, to listen to those first few seconds. And keep that in mind as well, that the client only listens to a few seconds of your music track when they're scrolling, when they're searching for music for their project. So if you put yourself in the shoes of a client, and let's say that you were thinking about a genre or a style, so you're thinking about an acoustic track for a slideshow, for a commercial, for a presentation, or for your video vlog. You're thinking about, okay, I need an acoustic track. I'm just not sure what kind of music I'm looking for here. So when you go to the acoustic section, you're gonna read different titles. Now keep in mind that different libraries allow certain titling for your music track. For example, in Audio Jungle, they use very generic titles and very generic names for songs like uplifting and inspirational and motivational. And these kind of titles are very generic and they can work wonderful. And yes, people might just click on it because they're looking for something that is inspirational and motivational. But there are other libraries like Melody Loops, for example, where they don't allow this type of generic titling, and they actually will retitle your music track because they want to encourage composers to be a little bit more creative and give a certain identity to the music track that you're uploading to this particular website. I have uploaded a few tracks to Melody Loops. Now here you can see my catalog, if you will. And you can see that the very first song, I'm just gonna play it very quickly for you. It's called Morning Coffee in the Park. Now, this particular song, this is one of my best sellers here on Melody Loops. And it's a very, I wouldn't say it's a funny name, but it's something that I had to put a lot of thought into it. And it might seem like a generic name as well, like Morning Coffee in the Park. But if it's an acoustic track, and I'm already looking for an acoustic track, and I see this type of title, it gives me an idea of what this music might evoke before I even press play. So I'm trying to put myself again in the shoes of the client, of the customer. So that's a perfect example for that particular music track. This particular music track, maybe on Audio Jungle, will be just called inspirational acoustic, because that's allowed in Audio Jungle. And even on Pond5, or on Pond5, I might put this name and maybe put in brackets inspirational, emotional, acoustic as well. You're allowed to do that on Pond5 as well, to give even further explanation of what that music track is. So keep that in mind. Every library works differently with a title, but the most important thing is that the title, regardless of where you upload your music, it has to reflect the emotion and the vibes of that music track. Okay, so here's another one. The second track is, the name is Going Back Home. So again, this is an acoustic track. And when you listen to that title, you might think that it might be something either emotional or nostalgic, maybe, we don't know, but it's just saying going back home. It could be something as well, happy that I'm returning home. So when I press play, I'm expecting to get this kind of vibes, okay? It does give me those kind of emotions going back home. It's not necessarily a sad song, okay, but I'm returning home. Again, this particular music track, if I'm being lazy in my Audio Jungle account, it will be just called emotional acoustic or inspirational acoustic, a very generic name. But here I have to go a step further and say this track is called Going Back Home. The same with the next one, the third one, sunny weekend, okay, and this again. I'm still in the acoustic category. I'm still in the folk category. But when I hear Sunny Weekend, when I hear that title, I'm expecting something a little bit more upbeat, not so nostalgic and not so emotional. So these are the three examples, and obviously on this library, those are it's been sorted by popularity, if you will. But what it means is that those are the best sellers in this particular library, and they're all acoustic. But you can see that the difference of the title, how much it serves the music already. And by the time I press play, the very first few seconds, I can identify myself with that title and say, yes, it does sound like a Sunny Weekend. It sounds a little bit more upbeat. It's still an acoustic track, but it's different than the first two that I just played for you. This is just an example. The title is one of the most important things because that's what the client is going to see. By the time they press play, it better reflect that. Now, if you're somebody that is new to music licensing or to royalty-free libraries like Pond5, Audio Jungle, or Melody Loops, download my free guide. Link in the description. Thanks a lot for all the love and support. And as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.